Hey everyone, with new items, you might be wondering what champions are better or worse than before. Well, we're not going to cover them all in this video, but we're going to cover one of my favorite secret picks that some of you might already know about, Vi mid. If you have already seen our previous video on it, don't worry, we have new information to talk about in this one. And if you don't care about Vi, we're also going to have some general build advice for other AD champions in mid at the end. Lastly, we're going to cover runes at the very end of the video, so stick around for that if you're interested. Anyways, let's get into the guide. In this game, I'm playing Vi versus Xerath in Grandmasters. I know a lot of loyal players hate going against Xerath with how much poke he has. If you're one of those, you will be happy with how easy Vi mid is against him, with very little effort required. There are a few reasons why this matchup's so easy. The first is Doran's shield and Vi's base health regen together. Vi has the highest base health regen in the game, so that, with the insane healing from Doran's shield, makes you nearly impossible to poke out of lane. But that's not all. The most important part of playing Vi mid is how you use your E. Using your E triggers Vi's passive, Blast Shield, which gives her a shield for 3 seconds. So, as laning starts here, and Xerath charges up his Q, I walk up to the wave and use E to block anything he hits me with and damage him at the same time. This is the core concept for Vi's laning. Something important to note though, is that Vi's passive has a cooldown. But the cooldown drops by 3 seconds every time you trigger her W, which is a 3-hit passive. So if you auto a minion 3 times, your passive drops by 3 seconds. Also, your E has 2 charges, so you don't want to be spamming your E on the wave. You want to space them out around your passive so you always have a way to pop it. That's why for the next 10 or so seconds, I'm just collecting last hits and not using my E. But after that, we have another important concept for Vi. Notice my passive isn't up yet, but my E now has 2 charges. You don't want to be sitting on 2 charges, as that's just wasting the recharge part. So, I use my E to damage Xerath and the minions. I want to damage minions because pushing is very important on Vi. By pushing, you give yourself a minion advantage and level advantage. This can lead to early all-in kills or 1 trades. Also, because you have more minions, if the enemy champion auto-attacks you, they'll take damage in the process. So basically, you use your shield to eat ability damage, and your health regen will heal up any auto-attack damage done to you. It is very hard to poke you out of lane without running out of mana. All the while, you are poking them with your E constantly. Anyways, we have a suspicion that the enemy jungler is in our top jungle, so I clear the wave and go drop a ward. When I get back, a new wave is here, and I dodge Xerath Q, then use E again, hitting all the minions and him at the same time. I could have used my passive to block the Q damage instead of dodging it if I wanted, but I have full health, so I'm not worried about taking damage at the moment. But look at his health already. We've only been laning for 30 seconds, and he's half health from my E. The hitbox is huge, so a lot of players don't know how to dodge it, and they have no clue when you're going to use it in the first place since it's just an auto attack. Anyways, after that, with the help of his tower, Xerath clears the next wave before I do. So I start backing off and use an E on the way back to kill some minions and damage Xerath. As he starts charging Q, I start charging my own Q, as I wanted to use his self slow to let me land my ability, but it didn't work out that way. But I dodge his abilities and back away, waiting for my next wave. Now, something important to take note of here is the only reason I used my Q like that was because I was close to my tower. Like I said before, you want to be pushing most of the lane. And you might be wondering, well, how do you push and survive ganks? That's where Vi's Q comes in. You want to be saving Q for 2 main things. For if you get ganked, or for when they are low enough to kill. Your E is the main trading tool, and that's what you'll be maxing first. Alright, getting back into laning, the new wave arrives and I don't have my passive up, but I'm still going to be auto-attacking minions to push. Then once it's up, I use my E to harass Xerath a bit more until I hit level 3. I put 2 points into E at level 3 instead of a point in W. The reason for that is, I don't really need the cooldown reduction on my passive shield this early in the lane. I have plenty of sustain, and the extra damage on E is super nice for the harass. But as I go for these next minions, Xerath hits me with his W and is running out of mana. So I act like I'm going for the CS and use Q quickly to jump on him, use my Halo Blades autos, then start backing off. I went for this trade with Q because I knew where the enemy jungler was at the time. As long as you have that information, you don't have to be afraid to go in with Q. So Xerath landed a bunch of damage on me there, but I still have my potion. So watch how fast I regen with my base health regen, Doran's shield, and a pot running. So in those 10 seconds, I went from 150 health to 300, and since he's used up all of his mana, he has no way of killing me. And remember, this is with Xerath having a mana restoring passive. So if you're against a champion without that, think about how fast they'll run out of mana if you use your passive shield properly and they try to harass you a lot. Anyways, since he's out of mana and pretty low, I charge up my Q and go in, scaring him into using barrier because he wasn't sure if I had an E charge left to burst him. but my E is 2 seconds away, and he's in kill range with an E and ignite. So I'm just auto-attacking minions, and when he walks into range, I use E and ignite to kill him, and kill the minions as he dies. Now I can reset and spend my gold, and when I get back into lane, I see Xerath helping with a scuttle crab fight in bottom river. So as he's on his way back to lane, I stand right here. This distance makes him feel safe enough not to take the long way around, and keeps me just in range for my Q. As soon as he shows up, I charge up my Q, and release it before he throws the stun. If he hits me with stun as I'm charging it, it'll get cancelled, but if he uses it as I'm traveling, it'll still go. But I get a solid chunk on him with Halo Blades and my E, I almost kill him, and that's why the Emax is so good. Your all-in is still strong, you get insane push potential, and you can harass them the entire time. Anyways, now that he's so low, I can dive him, especially with his barrier down. So I need to shove these minions into tower. As I'm doing this, I'm not using E because I want to have 2 charges for when I go for the dive. Once the wave is crashed, I charge up my Q and go in, making him flash away, then use my second E charge on the tower to secure the kill. Alright, so you should get the idea now on how to lane. Let's talk about items. Your core item is going to be Triforce. This was her core item before, but now it's even better. You do insane damage with it. In this clip, I just got my Triforce finished, and go in to trade with Xerath. As I'm running away, he walks a bit too far, so I ult in and delete him. With Halo Blades, you stack up Triforce passive really fast. In the next clip, I push bot wave and wait for Xerath to rotate over and cheese him out of the brush. This clip also has something small to talk about though, which is how Vi's ult ignores CC. So after I combo the Xerath, I ult to go through his stun and finish him. And as I charge my Q, I flash over the pike, then release it to get away. Your second core item, which is absolutely insane right now for pretty much any AD assassin or bruiser, is Ravenous Hydra. This item is crazy. For this clip, I wanted to test the damage of my 2-item spike on a tanky champion. This Yorick has ninja tabbies, which are called plated steel caps now, and a sunfire. So he has a good amount of armor. I have Triforce and Ravenous Hydra. I start off going for his maiden, then basically auto attack him to death. He ignited me, and I was still healing so much from the Ravenous. The fight wasn't even close. Also, I didn't even use my ult. Of course, I was 2 levels on him, so I don't expect it to be that close. But I didn't expect to be able to just shred him like that with all the armor that he had. Alright, so those are your 2 core items. After that, it's situational. You can go Black Cleaver if against a bunch of tanks, GA if you think you won't be able to get out alive after going in, or Sterix if they have a lot of burst. It's all situational at this point, but you want to go for bruiser or tank items. Don't get any crit or lethality. The only 2 lethality items that would be viable are Ghostblade if snowballing, or Edge of Night if the shield will be really useful in a team fight. And lastly, for runes, you want a page that looks like this. Electrocute is also viable, but I think Halo Blades is super good with the new Triforce passive, but you can test both and use what you like more. The Taste of Blood is insane with the way you want to be laning, and Relentless Hunter is good for when you're looking for a pick in the side lane. The extra movement speed makes yourself slow from Q not as bad. By the way, you should know where our guides come from. Our hyper improvement platform skillcapped is the #1 place to actually start improving at League of Legends. You can input your rank before signing up to see where we'll think you'll climb to. Then, if you don't hit that rank while actively using skillcapped, you can claim a full refund. That's like a gym membership guaranteeing you'll get ripped. We offer this because our services really do work. And if it doesn't, then you shouldn't pay for it. Check us out right after this. Alright guys, that's going to bring us to the end of this video. Give the pick a try and let us know how it goes. It's one of my favorite and is a ton of fun and really strong as well. But we hope you enjoyed the video, and thanks for watching.